If you've been trying to lose weight and it feels like that the harder you work, the more your body resists, this episode is for you. So many women are told that weight loss is just about eating less or working out harder. But for female bodies, especially in seasons of stress and motherhood, during hormonal changes, that advice can actually work against us. Today, we're going to talk about why weight loss often stalls, how things like insulin and stress quietly drive the process, and why guessing your way through diet and exercise can keep you stuck far longer than is necessary. This is not about willpower. It's not about discipline. It's about understanding how your body works and understanding what it needs to help it to feel safe enough to make the changes that you're wanting. Let's go. This is my weekly reminder to you that if you have not yet left me a written review over on Apple Podcasts, could you please do that? It doesn't cost you a thing. It helps me so much to find other women like you who are looking for this type of content. So head over to Apple Podcasts, go down to the reviews. You have to scroll down a little bit. Just click that little 5th star, write a little bit about what you like about the podcast. It encourages me so much. But even more than that, it helps me find other women like you. Or if you don't have an iPhone or an iPad or anything that you can do that, if you'll head over to YouTube and subscribe, or even if you do have an iPhone, if you can go over there and subscribe and comment on the videos or like the videos or share the videos, that helps me in the same way. All of these things are completely cost-free to you, help me so much and encourage me so much. All right, enough about that. Let's get to the point of this day's podcast, which is all about understanding weight loss and understanding why maybe you've struggled with it. If you've been told that the answer to losing weight and the answer to getting healthy is to eat less and work out harder, but you see and you feel your body pushing back, I want you to hear this clearly. That advice that the world gives us from all sorts of different directions is often working against us as women. This is not a motivational talk today. This is a physiology talk. As women, our bodies just don't work the way that we've been told that they do and that the world insinuates that they do by telling us these messages over and over. God did not make us to thrive in those conditions. I want to help you to see that the cultural script is based on worldly knowledge, which is not based in God's truth, which is the truth. High intensity workouts combined with underfueling your body equals a stress load that your body interprets as danger. It leads to increased stress again. That increased stress increases your cortisol levels. Those increased cortisol levels cause blood sugar instability and underlying higher blood sugar. Then that leads to higher insulin levels, which eventually leads to increased fat storage, not decreased. So the very thing you're being told, work out harder, cut calories, is actually leading to a situation in your body that can cause fat storage rather than fat loss. Many women are already living in a space of physiological overdrive just from their life in general, especially moms. And so if you take this underlying physiological stress you've already got going on and combine it with work out harder, eat less, you're actually making the problem even worse. If your nervous system is already maxed out, adding more intensity does not build resilience. It deepens the hole you're in. Now, I'm not anti-movement. I'm not anti-exercise. I am anti busting your tail because somebody told you that's what you have to do to lose weight. That was a long one, right? I'm anti that. I am pro you learning to work with the way God made your body to work. Here's the biology behind it. Insulin determines whether you store or release energy, okay? And blood sugar swings that oftentimes we associate as just being for like people with diabetes or people who are eating unhealthy, they actually happen even in so-called healthy eaters. People who think they're eating really well often are having these blood sugar swings and they didn't realize it. I see this often in my clients that I work with one-on-one. They'll put on their CGM, the continuous glucose monitor, and they will be shocked at what they find from meals they've always been told are healthy, and yet their sugar goes way high. So when that happens, that leads to also insulin swings, and that over-exercising and inconsistent meals cause that blood sugar chaos to be even worse, which means the insulin situation is even worse. And weight loss cannot happen in a body that is constantly having to correct blood sugar emergencies. It's always putting out fires. And you can't burn fat in a body that's busy putting out metabolic fires all the time. The problem is that we are, again, listening to this worldly advice and we're guessing. We're trying to figure this out, but we're guessing based on what we think might be the problem, but we really don't always know. Most women are rotating between diets and workouts and supplements and advice that they've heard here and there and everywhere that they've kind of pieced together to try to make it work. Oftentimes just trying to, keep from having to pay for the help. They'll listen to a person on Instagram here, maybe find a YouTube video there, read a book here, and it all is very compelling and all of it has some truth to it. The problem is you don't know if it applies to your specific situation. Guessing feels proactive. Putting these pieces together feels proactive, but it often delays real progress. Without labs, without looking at the overall patterns, without getting the feedback of what's going on in your actual world, you are reacting instead of repairing and healing. And guessing does feel cheaper up front. Let's be real, money's a thing. I know that. And sometimes we feel like that's the better way to go. You'll just figure it out. And that does feel better financially. But in reality, it's usually the most expensive path in the long run. Let me ask you this. Have you ever found yourself saying, I've tried everything and it doesn't work? Now, I want you to think about how much have you spent on all of those things that you've tried that haven't worked? How much has added up? How many diets have you invested in? How many gadgets have you bought? How many gym memberships have you paid for? How many of those things that I just listed off, how many of those do you have under your belt, along with the weight that you still can't lose? How much time have you lost in the process? See, time is the one thing we can't get more of. You must redeem the time because you're not getting any younger. Every day is a day that you can't get back. And before you know it, you'll be 10 years down the road looking back thinking, nothing changed. See, there is a cost to wasted time and you cannot get it back. I want to give you a framework of what actually does work. I know you want to lose weight. I know you want to get healthy. I know that you are tired of feeling like a failure. So here's what works. First, you need to learn to put blood sugar first, not last. And again, I know that we've often thought of blood sugar being a problem for diabetics, but the problem is there's not just a switch that one day you become a diabetic. It is a process over years and years and years, often multiple decades. And if you are not actively paying attention to this, I would put every dime I have on you one day becoming pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic. Before you worry about calories, before you worry about macros, you need to be asking yourself, am I eating protein within an hour of waking up? That's a big key to balancing your blood sugar. Ask yourself, am I going more than 4 to 5 hours without food during the day? Do I feel shaky, anxious, wired, exhausted between meals? Especially, do I feel exhausted within maybe an hour or two of having a meal? Do I just feel like I can't hold my eyes open? See, if your blood sugar isn't stable, weight loss is off the table. You've got bigger issues going on that if they aren't addressed, you will not lose weight. You physiologically can't. Thing two, you need to focus on movement is what you need to add in a way that lowers stress rather than raising it. Not just, quote, exercise, not going to the gym, but just movement, activity in place of being sedentary. Instead of thinking, I need to burn more calories, I want you to think, do I feel calmer after I work out or exercise or move my body? Or do I feel more depleted? Is my movement matching my sleep and my stress and my season in life? Am I walking daily? Am I lifting gently, meaning am I lifting loads that God meant for my body to handle? Or am I trying to do things that the world tells us are normal, but really are more for men? Am I doing something that builds capacity instead of borrowing energy? See, the right movement should make your body feel good, should make your body feel safer, not worse, not exhausted, not depleted. Third thing to think about is consistency over intensity. Ask yourself, could I do this activity on my worst week? Would this activity, this exercise, this workout, would it survive illness and travel or a hard postpartum day? If it wouldn't, it's probably too much for your body. Am I choosing extremes because I don't trust slow progress? See, that's what really usually gets us. We want it now. We want lots of results and we want them now, so we want to push hard. And as a former athlete, I get that. But understand that when you push hard, you don't get sustainable results. Your body changes with what you can repeat, not what you can force. The next thing to consider, I want you to consider that you need real quality feedback instead of guessing. I want you to ask yourself, am I reacting to symptoms or am I interpreting patterns of my body and of my life? Do I know why my body is doing what it's doing? Have I been repeating the same 3 to 4 strategies for the last however many years and just calling it by a different name? These things are signs that you are just in a reaction stage rather than a proactive building mindset, a healing mindset of learning your body and how to work with it. Progress accelerates when you stop experimenting on yourself. What actually works is stabilizing blood sugar, choosing movement that calms the system, calms your nervous system, building repeatable habits and getting real feedback instead of guessing. What actually works is supporting insulin before chasing fat loss. And this comes through learning how to nourish your body God's way with proper protein and carb balance combined with well-timed activity and well-timed appropriate activity for your body. And what actually works is matching movement to the season your body is in. Busting your tail is almost never the answer. In fact, I would argue for women, it's never the answer. If it's worked for you in the past, the benefits were short term, whether you realized it or not. They are not lasting because your body is not designed to carry that type of stress for long. And it will eventually shift into a fight or flight mode where the stress is building subconsciously, whether you realize it or not, and keeping your cortisol levels higher and keeping your blood sugar levels higher, thereby causing you to hold on to fat instead of losing it. See, we have to create an environment of nervous system safety. And I know that doesn't sound like anything tangible, but let me assure you that it is one of the most important things. See, our daily choices in our lives for what we're doing in our day-to-day lives those choices communicate to our bodies whether or not we are safe. If we are living in a way that subconsciously tells our brain that we're in danger by cutting our diet back way too far, by working out too hard, our bodies will actually do the opposite of what we want them to do. They'll hang on to fat instead of burning it. When you try to lose weight and you try to find true wellness on your own, the average long-term success rate is 5 to 10% at 1 to 5 years out. And weight regain is common, usually within 12 months if you don't have accountability. Listen to how much it goes up by adding some accountability. So on your own, 5 to 10% success rate. That means 5 to 10% of people are going to succeed in their goals. Group-based coaching, like what we have in the Bloom tier and in the Root tier of Verity Village, shows 2 to 3 times better outcomes than self-directed efforts. Weight loss of 5 to 10% of body weight is common. That means if you weigh 150 pounds, you would lose somewhere between 8 to 15 pounds. If you weigh 200 pounds, you'd lose somewhere between 10 to 20 pounds. The accountability and the support makes the difference. Let me take a second to explain what I mean by Root tier or Bloom tier. Inside of Verity Village, we have 3 different tiers that you can join at. It's affordable for everyone. The seed tier is the lowest tier. Think of a seed as something you put into the ground, right? It's the beginning. It's the first step. And at that seed tier, you get all of the community and you get all of the resources inside of Verity Village. And if you want to get a sneak peek of kind of what that looks like and how much is there already, even in just the first week of Verity Village, you can go to https://www.morriswellnessservices.com/Verity Village. It's down in the show notes. You can just click it. There's a sneak peek there where you can get a glimpse of how much information is there. And you also get access to the monthly challenges for whatever goal we're working on this month. This month's goal is getting started in these habits that we've started to touch on in this episode, actually. So that's the seed tier. The root tier, think of roots. So you put the seed in, then the roots start to grow, right? And that's where the growth and the foundation of a healthy plant comes from. In that root tier, you get all of the things that are in that in that seed tier. Plus, you're going to get access to live coaching, live question and answer sessions, and very likely soon I'm going to be adding a monthly live Vax chat where we can talk about vaccines openly and kind of discuss all of these things so that you can understand those choices and how they impact your health. This does not include all the discounts, by the way. You can go to the website that I mentioned a minute ago and you'll see a breakdown of all the things that are included because there's lots of discounts for supplements, there's discounts for my courses, there's discounts for everything. So all of that's broken down on the website. I just want you to get kind of a overview of what is included as it applies to your weight loss and your health goals. So the root tier is where that seed goes in, it starts to grow, it starts to put the roots in, and then the bloom tier. What's a bloom? What happens after you get the roots? The stalks go up and the bloom forms and it blossoms. And that bloom tier is where the real lasting impact happens because that's where the one-on-one coaching lives. That's where you invest in the changes that are personalized to you. That's where we do the labs. That's where we look at your specific history and we look at your specific symptoms and all that's going on in your world. And we take your specific situation and we formulate a precise roadmap from where you are at a cellular level to where you want to go. There's no more looking back, wondering where you went wrong, no more dropping a few pounds and then seeing them come back. This is where lasting lifestyle change happens. Now, does that mean that that's the only place it happens? Well, of course not. Some success is found in that group coaching. So I want you to find the place that you can fit in to get the support that you need so that you're not doing it alone anymore. God didn't mean for us to do this alone. That's why He gave us the church. He knew that we as humans need support. He knew that we did not need to be alone, and that when we were alone, it would be really easy to fall. This community, Verity Village, exists so that you can find that type of support that you need for whatever level you're ready for, so that you can have results that you can feel, so that you can finally start making tangible steps towards being healthy and living in line with God, how God made your body, so that you can understand the physiology behind things like weight loss, so that you can learn the changes that you need to make, so that you can then also get all this information that you need, so without having to worry about censorship, without worrying about being distracted by the noise and the ads and the junk that platforms like Facebook and Instagram put in front of your face to distract you all the time. This is a safe place where we come together, we have great conversations, we share all kinds of information. See, the bottom line is this: your body doesn't need more discipline. It just needs better information and more consistent support. And that is exactly why I created Verity Village. Women don't just need another plan. We need guidance. We need interpretation. We need a place to stop guessing, and a place that's away from all the noise and all the distraction of trying to DIY it over on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. Let me differentiate it just a little bit. Verity Village as a whole is a place for you to have community, education, resources, and shared wisdom. One-on-one coaching in the Bloom tier is where you have all of the goodness of Verity Village, plus labs, personalization, direct application to your body, and constant daily one-on-one access to me regarding your plan with a depth that you cannot get anywhere else. We meet twice a month for an hour at a time to really implement that roadmap that we put in place. So if you're tired of working harder and you're ready to work wiser, the door is open for you at Verity Village right now. Again, you can get a sneak peek. I've mentioned the website before. I'm not going to spell it all out again. I know that gets annoying, but the link is down in the description. You can click on it, go check it out. And if you are a founding member, if you were one of the ones that signed up for the Verity Village waitlist and you have not joined yet, remember to go look for your discount. It's in your email box right now. And that discount, which is 50% off, expires this Friday. So if you're listening to this live on January the 6th, you've only got 3 days left to take advantage of that discount, and I don't want you to miss out on it. So if you are a founding member who is on the wait list, go check your email and get in there today. Don't keep putting it off. Don't forget, because once Friday's gone, the discount is gone. Again, we were never called to strive against our bodies. We were only called to steward them with wisdom. That's it. There's no sermon, period. I want you to come join us. I want you to make 2026 the year that you actually win with your health and wellness, learning to work with the way God designed your body to work.